It's Jawan, your Indian Cine-MANIAC, with another 10ish minute review. That's right. We're taking a break from the Indian TV series, and I put out on the community poll what films you guys want me to watch. And the first one was, what's an SRK film you guys want me to watch? And it was pretty overwhelming. It was 2003's Devdas. Devdas. So that's the film that I am going to review. I am going to continue watching Sacred Games. I've already reviewed season one, and I'm really looking forward to season two. I like this show a lot. It's a kind of a slow burn, but I like it. And I'm also going to get to the other movies in the community poll. And just a heads up on the big show, I did a poll on some 10ish minute reviews that I did that you guys want the big show to do. And I put 10 of them out there, and you guys picked the top five. We've already announced those, so that's kind of exciting. So thanks for participating in that, and I hope you're happy with the movies. Actually, the list I think is a pretty good list. I think I'm pretty sure they're gonna like all the movies. I'm not 100% sure one of them, but I think they're gonna like. All right, let's talk about Devdas. Again, 2003, directed by Sanjay Leela Bhansali, who directed Padmaavat. It stars SRK, Shah Rukh Khan. My name is Khan, Jawan, Dawn. I've seen him in a lot of stuff. Aishwarya Rai Bachchan, who is um, is kind of making me forget Kareena Kapoor a little bit because she is like, oh, she was in Robot and Doom too. But she's a beauty. But her eyes, man, oh, can't get those eyes out of my head. And in this movie, they really play on that. Madhuri Dixit, who I don't think I've seen before, but I did some research on her, and quite a dancer. I think she was a beauty queen like Aishwarya was. Jackie Shroff, who was in Jailer and Sooryavanshi. Curran Kerr, who was in Rang Dai Basante and Fana, and Smita Jakar, who was in Sarafosh. Okay, a couple of things about this film. So after watching it, I wanted to do a little review, research, excuse me. So I found out a few things. This has been made a bunch of times. First in 1936, and I guess one of the most beloved versions is the 55 version starring Dilip Kumar, who I saw in Mughal-e-Hazam, and there was even a version in 1976. So I wasn't familiar with those. The lead role of Devdas was first offered to Salman Khan, who I've seen in a bunch of stuff. He turned it down. Kareena Kapoor, who I mentioned earlier, auditioned for Para, and even though I am how I feel about Kareena Kapoor, I think Ashira was right for this because obviously she's exotically beautiful, but she's also a very good dancer. A couple things about the filming. During filming, a stagehand got decapitated by a wind fan, and another one got hurt. But this one got his head cut off. The budget for this film was 50 crore, which at the time was the most expensive Bollywood film ever. The song Dola Re Dola was an instant hit and became a huge hit. A couple of the drunk scenes, SRK decided to actually get drunk. And I think you can kind of tell that in some of those scenes. Time magazine named this version of Devdas best movie of 2002. 2002, but it came out in 2003. I don't understand that. It was filmed in Davari, Mumbai to recreate 20th century Calcutta. Um, and I do have a question about that because I don't actually know what year this film was supposed to take place in. They never told you that. At least if they did, maybe I wasn't paying attention. But I know it was 20th century, but I don't know what year exactly. If anyone knows, let me know in the comment section. Okay, so let's start with the story. The story is a young man who's been away for 10 years comes back home. Um, there was a girl who loved him 10 years ago and still loves him and is waiting for him. He comes back. He offends his mother and sister in law, which causes repercussions. He is separated from the girl that he loves and who loves him. Um, Falls into a deep depression, starts drinking because he didn't drink until this happened. And for the whole second half of the movie, he's pretty much drunk. However, through the course of his depression, he stays at a brothel and falls in love with a courtesan who then connects with Para, who's played by are you sure? I'm going to say that right. Aishwarya Rai, and they become friends. But that relationship separates her from her husband, who only married her so she would be a mother to his full-grown children. Are you with me so far? Okay. Um, and this was all a plan from the mother and the daughter-in-law, or yeah, daughter-in-law, who felt they were wronged by Devdas, so they pretty much ruined his life. And then, spoiler alert, 2003. It's not that big of a spoiler. She ends up staying with her husband, who she doesn't love, and he doesn't love her. And Devdas dies. Just want to go over my notes, make sure I got that story right. Okay, that's the story. How would I rate the story? I'd rate the story a two. Nothing special. It was kind of it just I didn't think it was a great story. Okay, so I'm not a big fan of the story. I mean, it's like a million other stories. Um, I will say this about this film before I get to the acting. I think people knew, based on all the reviews I've done and based on my taste, how I was going to feel about this movie. And you were right. Very melodramatic, over the top melodramatic. Um, there was more crying in this film than I think I've seen in any film. Everybody's crying all the time. Everybody's eyes are bloodshot and watery. And it was just over and over and over again. Um, so, you know, so I didn't like that. And there was a lot of musical numbers. In fact, there was, by my count, five, six, seven, eight, eight songs. Now, I did like some of the songs. I didn't hate them all. Okay. So I'll get to the songs in a minute. I'll get to the acting. I'll get to the songs. I'll get to my final verdict. Let me say this about this film. Okay. Now you think I'm going to bash this film, that I hated it. I did not hate this film. There was a lot about it I did not like. But I have to say this about this film. This, out of all the Indian films that I have seen, and I've seen a lot over the last 2 years, I have to tell you, this was by far the most beautiful film I have seen. Between the sets and the costumes and the cinematography, it was spectacular. I mean, and the thing that I was looking forward to, I wasn't I wasn't looking forward to what was going to happen to the characters. I was looking forward to what's the next set going to be, because they were spectacular. I mean, there was this one house with purple and blue stained glass that was gorgeous. And then when they go to somebody's home, it would have a different color palette, blue or red or gold. It was visually, it was an amazing film. The costumes were spectacular. Even the musical numbers, which I wasn't a huge fan of most of them, I love the dancing in them. And the fact that both the ladies, and I guess they had to find a number that they could both dance in, that wouldn't cause one to outshine the other. They were very worried about that. And that dance number they did was beautiful, and they were in sync, and it was fantastic. So from that standpoint, man, I loved this film because it was just the senses. It really was, and like I said, I think it's the most beautiful film I've seen, and and I've seen a lot of really beautiful Indian films, but this one took the cake. Now, a couple of bullet points about things I liked. Um, they used a lot of Dutch angles, and if you don't know what that is, it's when they tilt the camera. They did that a lot, and his entrance was really interesting too, because um, you it was like, I don't know if you heard of The Third Man with Orson Welles. for 45 minutes, all they're doing is talking about Orson Welles' character, Harry Lime, but you never see him. And then his
Who's
entrance
your
is one of the
boss?
most famous
Listen, Dad,
entrances
you know
in
what?
film
Once you get
history,
titles,
but they've built them up
sounds
so much that
frustrating
that's
and
what made the
mundane.
entrance so
Don't you
good. Well,
think? But
this is the same thing.
yeah,
They
see,
start
man,
off
some
with
little blue.
Devdas is coming home and everybody's excited. We haven't seen him in 10 years, right? Well, when he finally does get home, his entrance, you never see his face. And it takes a few minutes. You're seeing his feet, you're seeing his back, until finally he turns towards the camera and there's that beautiful face, SRK. So it was a great entrance. And, these guys always have great entrances. And the thing about the thing about the story that I had problems with was his mother was so happy to see him, but the first person he wanted to see was Para, who was his love, and he explained why. But that set the ball in motion, and now the mother turns against him, and that was his downfall. I don't know. I just didn't buy it. Um, I thought the mother, Para's mother, she had a solo dance that she was set up. They bring her to celebrate their marriage, but they didn't bring her for that. I thought that was great. In the way, and that was a little piece of acting that I really liked when she responded to what they just did to her. I thought that was a great scene by that actress. Um, the father's entrance, the father's bad because SRK opens the door and there's the father, and you hear this da, 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 this real ominous music. Um, the character Chuna Babu, I really liked. He was out of all the characters in the movie, he was the one that, I mean, I know he was comedic, but he wasn't dour. And and the sad thing about that character is he's the guy that ended up killing Devdas because he gave him alcohol. But I thought out of all the characters, he was the lightest. He was the one that you were look forward. Actually, the courtesan too. I mean, she had her moments of drama, but she was a really strong character too. I liked her. But Chuna Babu, I really liked, and that was played by Jackie Shroff. What else did I like? Oh, I had a question. All the women. Now I know, like when I've seen Indian weddings, I see that like webbing they put on women's hands. It almost looks like a tattoo, like paint. I've seen that in a lot of movies. What I've never seen is the fingertips all covered, like they almost look like thimbles. But every woman's hands had that, and I've never seen that before. So is that a common thing, or is that a thing of that time? Let me know in the comment section. I had a question about that. Para's new home. This is what I'm talking about. The cinematography. Her new home, with a husband told her the only reason why she was there is to be a mother for her children. That he still loved his dead wife, and she still loved Devda. So it was a marriage of convenience. But it was the tone was red. Is that evil? Is that angry? I don't know. Chuna Babu's place had a blue tone. The brothel had a gold tone. Um, oh yeah, that's the sixth song in the brothel. Chandramukhi makes a bet that Devdas will show up, and uh, Para's son-in-law, who's in the brothel, bets he won't show up. Well, Devdas shows up, and she's got this beautiful dance in this beautiful emerald green gown, absolutely beautiful. Um, what else? Oh, the foreshadowing. Devdas asks a priest to give him his last rites, so that kind of set up the ending. Um, but overall, I mean, look at it was the film itself was okay. Like I said, what really struck me was the colors, the sets, the costumes. Absolutely worth seeing just for that, and I mean that. It was just the way it was filmed. I like I said, I even like most of the songs. I didn't like them all. I liked most of the songs. I thought they were beautifully shot, beautifully danced and sung. And I know a bunch of the songs were hits, so obviously you guys liked it too. The acting, look, it was just over the top. It was soap opera, and I don't like that, so I'm going to give that a two. The songs, I'll give the songs a four because again, I thought they were beautiful. I thought some of them were pretty catchy. I know how big a hits these were, so I'll give those a four. And overall, I I guess I'll have to give it a 3. Um, because I think if you've never seen this movie, then I would recommend seeing it just for the visuals of this film. Because the performances were okay. I mean, a 2 I gave because I thought they were melodramatic. There was nothing grounded in any way, um, which is fine for this type of film, I guess. But it's just not, it's not the kind of thing that I like. But I think Aishwarya Rai, she is just like. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you something. Okay, I prefer her in the costume she wore, like in Doom 2 and Robot. If you know what I'm saying, not these gowns that completely make her look like a rectangle with no shape whatsoever. But she is like hauntingly beautiful. Those eyes of hers, those color of her eyes. Oh, I think I got a new favorite. But yeah, overall, I'm going to give it a 3. I'm glad I saw it. I understand why people really like this movie, but you guys got me figured out on this, and you guys knew how I would feel about this film. But it's okay. I'm glad I saw it because, like I said, really, it was just beautiful. So that's the SRK film I did. All right. So the next film I'm going to do off the Community poll is I'm going to watch 1971's Anand. And that one overwhelmingly too. And that stars Big B, Amitabh Bachchan. I'm curious about that one because that's 1971, and I am sure that's going to have a certain look to it that I don't know if I'm really going to be into. But the fact that you guys overwhelmingly picked it tells me it must be a pretty good film. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to that. Okay. So that's it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think I'm nuts? Are you glad I'm watching Anand? Let me know what you think in the comment section. I really appreciate you guys watching. Oh, I appreciate you guys taking the poll. We had like 240 people respond to the polls. I'm really grateful for that. Oh, I should say this. Oh no, I don't have to say that. I don't have to say that. No, I'll say that for another day. All right, that's it. I hope that was short and sweet and to the point, unlike my meandering on Mirzapur. But anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll talk to you soon with another community poll, 10-ish minute review. Thanks for watching.